believers. Did you make a mistake? Did you make a mistake? I'm asking you a question. Did you make a mistake when you quote Quran saying all unbelievers? Did you make a mistake?
So here, whenever we quote your scripture, we should be careful that we don't put our word into the scripture, right? Let me finish my point, right?
Okay, let him finish, please.
I hear what you I hear what you say.
No, you haven't heard him. You're talking over him.
I hear what you say. I hear what you say. I understand what you say. I'm not talking
I'll
over you.
I'll tell you what the fallacy you are committing here. There are three things called eisegesis, and there are things called exegesis. Eisegesis is you read to the scripture. As a Muslim, we look at what scriptures say. We don't put our word to the scripture. That's why you have a misunderstanding here. So, it's nothing wrong in the verse. Abdullah clearly explained it. I'm just saying you are putting your word to the scripture. That's the fault. Quran has no fault in it.
In order to make yourself right.
Yes.
Other than that, you have no grounds to stand on. The only time you have a grounds to stand on, you have to introduce something into the scriptures which is not there.
Yeah.
Other than that, you have no grounds to stand on. You just pick on the wrong set of people.
That's our humble understanding. And
You probably thought you meet some ethnic minority who can't speak English,
Wait, hang on a minute. Let me.
and you think you're gonna wrap them up.
Hang on a minute. Let me quickly.
You walk into a wall, bro.
Let me quickly look at all these Islamic terrorist groups like Hamas,
Right,
like ISIS,
right.
right? So they're killing people.
Right.
They're killing people. They are literally hundreds of Christians in Nigeria being killed
Right.
for the fact that they don't believe in Islam.
Well, let me answer your
Okay.
question. Let me answer you.
Let me
All right, go on.
finish.
Carry on. Finish.
There's so many.
Yes.
So many killings in the name of Allah,
Right,
right? And you tell me it's a religion of peace.
right.
Explain it to me.
Okay, good. Let me explain it. First of all, there's nothing in the world called Islamic terrorism. That doesn't exist, right? That's where the media try to falsely accuse Islam or associate Islam with terrorism. That's propaganda. That's a lie. Because Islam does not support terrorism. Islam does not support terrorism. If Islam,
that you
can I
believe
finish,
in.
please? Please, can I finish, please? If Islam supports terrorism, we have a Quran. And the Quran is the document that every Muslim is expected to follow. The scholars of Islam are experts on the Quran. And the scholars of Islam, our scholars historically, are not terrorists. So Islamic terrorist is a false, flawed terminology into a conversation. That's number one. And again, this is a second attempt of you making a construction that is false in order to make some kind of argument. Now, look at terrorism globally. Whether it's white terrorism, religious terrorism, whichever terrorism you look at, I agree that terrorism is evil. I agree with that. And if a Muslim was to commit an act of terror, I condemn that action and I condemn that Muslim. It's wrong, completely wrong. There's no justification for that. But how does that relate to the original point? How? There's no relationship. Right now, you're just shooting at everything you have.
No.
You find yourself in a battlefield and you're taking out tissues and you're throwing every little thing that you have. Your shoes,
You're telling me.
Just now you're going to take off your jacket and throw it at me.
You are telling me that every single terrorist Islamic organization who commits
What is an Islamic organization?
ISIS,
What is an Islamic organization?
who calls himself. Hang on a minute. Let's go back to.
You know what is an Islamic organization? An Islamic organization is an organization that is organized with an agenda in alignment with Islam. That's an Islamic organization. Now, there are acts of terror that people of various faiths and beliefs commit.
So you're telling me there's that no Islamic people are.
My friend, you don't understand what Islam means.
Like the Catholics or the Ku Klux Klan, that doesn't mean they're
My friend,
Christianity.
you're slightly flawed on definitions. You're not definitionally strong. You don't have good strong definitions. You create.
The only thing I see, right, is people in Saudi Arabia.
That's all you see. Yeah.
You only see.
That's all you see. He said that to me about the Quran. He said, as to the Quran,
I don't know
all
whether how much you read in your own scripture.
Oh,
Okay, fine.
I've read a lot
Okay,
in my
in Islam, Allah tells us that if you kill a soul, as if you kill entire humanity, and if you save a soul, as if you save entire humanity. This is the foundational verse of justice. Remember that. So I cannot kill willy-nilly for sake of my desire. No. So Allah said, human life is sacred. So you cannot take life of anyone.
What is your
Yeah.
response to that now? What is your response?
No.
Please respond to that verse. Because you said,
cannot
all.
take-
I've given you a fundamental verse.
Yes, let's look at that verse. Let us read that verse.
Yes.
Oh, let's dwell on that verse.
Yes.
Let's
Abdullah,
dwell right there. We're not moving from there.
Exactly. It's better.
Now,
Look.
if we're saying something Islamic, it means to say the Quran and the teachings of Muhammad support it. If a Muslim was to do something wrong, you cannot call it Islamic. You have to say he did something wrong. Why? Because the Quran did not sanction it. You as a Christian, if you was to steal, I cannot say the Bible sent you to steal. I can say you stole. However, if the Bible tell you to steal and you steal, I can say that's a biblical stealing. Now, if a Muslim do something wrong, a Muslim done wrong. But it can only be Islamic if I do it because the Quran tell me to do it. You get it? Are you with me?
Did you follow his point? Basically,
I understand what you're saying.
Now, let's go to that verse where brother look at. And he says he's drawing something from the Quran to inform you that in Islam, Islam holds the sanctity of life. Meaning to say, life is sacred. And so much so that if you were to kill one person wrongly, unjustly, you have slain the whole of mankind.
Why is the Quran calling for jihad?
Why the no, sir. First of all, no, that's not the point.
The
Just
point
a minute,
is-
just a minute,
the
just a minute.
Quran is calling for,
Just a minute, just a minute, my friend. First of all, the verse on the sanctity of life. Do you want to
talking
discuss
about
it,
the
or you want to go to something else?
No. You're saying so. You're saying to me.
No, I'm not saying to you the Quran.
No. You're saying to me the Quran doesn't call for jihad.
No, I didn't say that. I said to you, brother Abdulaziz, mention a verse.
So the Quran
And you don't
is
want to-
telling
you don't want to
people
discuss.
kill people in the name of Allah.
I think let's finish the point. Abdullah,
No, yes.
Let's finish the point. We'll talk about
Brother Abdulaziz, read the verse again and tell him where it is. So on the day of judgment, he
in
would say,
chapter 5,
he would,
verse
he heard
32.
it.
That is why you ordained for children of Israel that whoever takes a life, unless a punishment for murder or mischief in the land, it will be as if they killed all of the humanity. And whoever saves a life,
Okay.
Let him finish, please.
and whoever saves a life, it will be as if they saved all humanity. Right?
That's it, khalas.
Is it plain, clear? No.
Do you agree with that?
Do you understand that?
Do you agree with it?
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
No, but do you
No,
agree with it?
You don't have to agree or disagree. It's in the Quran.
Yeah, but do you agree with it?
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
I'm trying to understand his moral compass.
No.
Do you agree with it?
So,
He doesn't agree with any truth that is in the Quran.
Exactly.
So then you don't
So,
have.
hang on a minute.
If it's the
Okay.
truth in the Quran, you don't agree with it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about truth in Quran. Let's talk about truth in Quran.
This one here.
No, let's talk
This
about
just-
truth in the Quran.
Yeah, this one.
shall I use
Okay,
one?
no,
Shall I give you a verse? Shall I
no.
give you a verse? Shall I give you a complete opposite verse in Bible?
Okay.
Shall I give you a complete opposite verse in
I
Bible?
want to ask you about truth in the Quran.
This one
No,
here.
no,
Do
no,
you
no,
agree
no,
with
no,
this
no,
one?
No,
Because I wanted to check your stand.
no, my standard is let's be
No,
consistent.
All right, nice one. Nice one.
That's the,
I agree.
That's the Quran.
Shall we?
Consistency.
No, let's
Shall
talk
we-
about,
shall
no,
we-
hang on a minute. Does the Quran contradict history?
Okay. Let me finish my point.
Yes.
Are you scared about your consistency?
No, I'm not scared
Okay.
about I'm
So
just
now,
asking you a question.
let's say it's fair. You asked me a question, we answered you. Now I'm going to ask a question. Chapter 1 Samuel 15, 1 Samuel 15:3.
Read it.
You
Let him
read
read
it
it.
for yourself
Yes.
and you explain to us, is this verse you can go along with your consistent
Make a
level?
comparison.
Make a comparison. No, look, we only ask you one question.
Read your own book.
When
You want to rip? So you're asking me to take one verse and
no,
make
we
No.
want you to explain it.
We
Your
want you to
understanding.
read your book.
Yeah.
my book. What
Yes.
do you mean?
1 Samuel.
You have a
15:3.
phone?
I have given you
1
reference.
Samuel.
1 Samuel 15:3.
Oh, you want to take the. Oh, okay. I see what you.
Doesn't make a difference.
I
No,
see
no.
where you're going.
No. We are not playing a game here. We are asking you to read your own scripture and giving your understanding to us. We are not saying nothing. I said, let's see what is the level of consistency you have. What is the moral compass you have?
But if there's a truth,
Hang on a minute. So where are you going?
1 Samuel 15.
Yeah.
Go to 3, verse 3. Read.